the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. A few of us in the mountain counties woke up to some upslope snow showers, but overall it's going to be a dry day, but everything changes come Sunday, so definitely keep it here. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up in just a bit.
Also coming up this morning, a community saying goodbye after weeks of searching for a missing 20-year-old. This family receiving devastating news. What police say happened leading up to his death, and we were there as the family and friends held a vigil to remember their lost loved one. What they're saying about him. And lockdown lifted, the scare that led to a Montgomery County high school shutting its doors on Friday. What we're learning from police that caused it all to happen in the first place. Also, how high is too high? Could there be a change to the DC skyline as we know it? This morning, we're taking it to the people. Should there be taller buildings in our nation's capital? Big debate. You'd think that we get fired up about everything, and boy, we do here in DC. It's 8 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us for Hour 3, our final hour of DC News Now. And wow, what a beautiful sunrise in our nation's capital. Right now, you're looking at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception, which, by the way, fun fact for you guys, is the largest Catholic church in all of North America.
Where do you learn all these fun facts? Just out of curiosity.
I went to the Catholic University of America, so I do know that one. And anytime I had to give somebody a tour of the university, that was like the top fact. Hey, look over there. You see that big thing? That's
interesting, because I was kind of wondering that when you said the tallest building was like 150 feet or whatever you said.
555 feet. That's the Washington Monument. But you also have to know that one as well, being here in D.C. It's easy to remember because it's just 555.
555.
That's it. Brittany Ward is here to tell you guys what is the pick of the weekend today or tomorrow, and how much we're going to have to bundle up or bundle down depending on how much sun we're going to get. Yeah,
Joe, today will definitely be the pick of the weekend. We're seeing that mixture of sun and clouds as temperatures today will mainly be in the 40s, so we're getting a little bit closer to average. Overall, we were tracking a few upslope morning snow showers there in the higher terrain, but now we are starting to see them die down, and that mixture of sun and clouds will definitely be the trend. The sad thing is, though, we are tracking a few showers as we end out the weekend. We get a little break, though, in that unsettling pattern come Monday and Tuesday, but then we are seeing yet another chance for us to see a few rain showers as we head into the end of next work week, or in the middle of the work week. So definitely keep it here. We'll have another check of that coming up in just a bit.
All right, Brittany Ward starting us off there from the Weather Center. Brittany, thank you. This morning, family and friends are mourning the loss of Jose Guerrero. He's a 20-year-old father from Virginia who disappeared last month. It's a story we've been on top of since his family first reported him missing. Hey there, it's 8:02 this morning. I'm Joseph Homo. Thanks so much for being here with us. On Thursday, police arrested 2 teenagers in connection with Jose's death. They say he was stabbed during a drug deal in Prince William County. Jose was a father to a 10-month-old baby. A vigil was held last night, and our news team heard from several people that Jose was quiet. He was humble, respectful, and loving. The family had been searching for him for weeks, holding candle lights like this one and asking for help. Last night, the family chose to focus on Jose's life instead of his death and shared stories about the time they were able to spend with him.
He was the best friend I ever had. The most sweetest person. He always counted on me. I counted on him. He was always there for me.
He told me that he was going to be the best father ever. You know, and that was the last time I really saw him and talked to him.
Certainly an emotional evening. The family is saying they will be following the case and the charges against those 2 teenage suspects very closely. Of course, we'll be doing the exact same thing and bringing any updates as we learn them. This morning, the family of a teacher from Washington, D.C., who died in the custody of L.A. police, is now suing the city of Los Angeles for $50 million. The lawsuit alleges that 31-year-old Keenan Anderson died due to unlawful assault and battery. Anderson was a 10th grade English teacher at Digital Pioneers Academy. This is in Southeast. He died earlier this month after police in Los Angeles stopped him after a car crash. Body camera footage shows officers subduing and tasing Anderson. The lawsuit says he was tased at least 6 times. Police say Anderson was acting erratic, and the medical examiners found cocaine and marijuana in his system. During a news conference, civil rights attorney Ben Crump said Anderson died at the hands of the LAPD.
He would end up dead at the end of the encounter at the hands of the Los Angeles Police Department, then Keenan Anderson was correct. They George Floyd him.
We hope to evoke change so that moving forward, my son doesn't have to live his life in fear of one day what happened to his dad may one day happen to him.
Okay, so this $50 million in this lawsuit broken down into two amounts, $15 million for Anderson's estate and $35 million for his 5-year-old son. All right, take a look at this. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused a heavy fire in a 2-story home in Southeast D.C. You can see the flames literally consuming side of the home, which was under construction. This happened on Chester Street shortly after 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. Crews managed to knock down the fire pretty quickly, and nobody was hurt, thankfully. But again, you can see there the damage substantial. We got new details this morning out of Montgomery County, where police say it was the discovery of a BB gun that caused the campus of Albert Einstein High School to be put on lockdown briefly yesterday. This is in Kensington, Maryland. Police say the student is now in custody. Investigators say they found brass knuckles, a knife, and marijuana on that student before discovering the BB gun on school grounds. Right now, authorities have not made the connection between the BB gun and the student. They don't know if he was actually in possession of the weapon, but we expect more information in the coming days on that. Well, yesterday was the 50th annual March for Life here in Washington, D.C. Thousands taking to the streets of our nation's capital in what is, I will remind you, the very first march since Roe versus Wade was overturned last year. Here's our Washington correspondent, Basil John, with what you need to know.
People from all across the country marched in Washington, D.C. Friday to make their voices heard and stand against abortion.
Should we still march?
This is the 50th year of the anti-abortion march, but the first one since the Supreme Court struck down the federal right to an abortion.
We will march until abortion is unthinkable.
The next phase now begins, and that's what this year's march is all about. The next steps in a post-Roe era.
For Holly Montanari, this is the 20th march she has attended, and she says she's proud to see younger people coming out in support.
That's really what motivates me to keep coming back and supporting them too, because they're going to have another fight on their, on their hands, even now that it's at the state level.
Many at the march say even though the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, they came out to march because they say there's still more work to do.
It's not just the laws, but to change people's minds as well.
We are a pro-life generation, and we are going to be the ones not only to overturn Roe, which we've already done, but to end abortion throughout all 50 states.
Congress was not in session during the event, but participants say they're still sending a strong message to lawmakers.
Stand with us for the human rights of every human being.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
All right, Basil, thank you. Well, now that lawmakers are back to business here locally in Virginia for this year's legislative session, abortion has been one of those top-of-mind issues. But although there are several bills out there that have to do with abortion, they are not likely to become law anytime soon. There are 3 bills that would have placed bans on abortions after certain time frames. Those bills are not moving forward at this time after not gaining enough support during Friday's Health Professions Subcommittee meeting. Those bills included banning abortion after 24 weeks, 15 weeks, or a total ban, with exceptions for rape, incests, or the danger of the mother. Currently, abortion is legal in Virginia through the 2nd trimester.
My world may have changed, but there are braver options than abortion. Women deserve the support like I got, and most of all, babies like mine deserve a chance to live.
I'm a mother who chose to have an abortion after 20 weeks. I urge you to reject the abortion bans before you today. Everyone deserves the chance to make their own choice.
Well, lawmakers voted to pass by these measures indefinitely. What does that mean? Well, that means that the law in Virginia remains, for now, unchanged. All right, big debate this morning. Should buildings in Washington, D.C. be made taller? It's an ongoing debate here in D.C. as Mayor Muriel Bowser aims to increase the number of people who live downtown. Right now, most buildings in D.C. are limited in height to 130 feet, or about 11 stories. One exception is the north side of Pennsylvania Avenue, where buildings can reach 160 feet. The height limits are mandated by what's known as the Federal Heights of Buildings Act. Yeah, that actually exists. It was passed all the way back in 1910, over 100 years ago. Bowser wants to tweak the law, raising the height limit in more areas to 160 feet. So she's not talking about making skyscrapers here, just getting more buildings on par with those north of Pennsylvania Avenue, hopefully to allow for denser housing. We spoke to people in the area who, like everything else, are divided about it.
You know, we need to understand why we're trying to get taller buildings, and if it's just so that more people can live here, I mean, who really lives in the city?
I'd rather the architecture stayed a little bit more tour de form historically as what DC's looked like, but again, it's hard to argue against, you know, needed housing.
So the Height of Buildings Act, again, is a federal rule, not a local rule, meaning that for it to be amended, the House and the Senate need to get involved here. And of course, with a Republican-controlled House now, Mayor Muriel Bowser is a Democrat, likely not going to happen in the next 2 years. All of this started, by the way, by an article by Axios that reignited the discussion around this issue. All right, new this morning, an effort to preserve black churches. Administrators of a trust fund have revealed the first 35 houses of worship that are going to receive financial grants that total $4 million, all in all. A couple of those churches are right here in the DMV. The first one is Scotland African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church. It's in Potomac, Maryland. And then there's the Halltown Memorial Chapel in Jefferson County, Virginia. The grants for all 35 churches range between $50,000 and $200,000.